king and pawn endgame. Can you master this dance of kings and show that you have truly mastered king and pawn endgames? You do need to use the opposition here, but be careful about the file on which you seize it. Having the distant opposition on the e file is of no value because your king cannot use the e5 square. You do need to use the opposition here, but be careful about the file on which you seize it. Having the distant opposition on the e file is of no value because your king cannot use the e5 square. Okay, I guess we'll see what this means. e5 square, I can't use it. I guess I have to choose which side I'm going to be on. To the left of my pawn chain, or on the right pawn. I think I have to be on the right side, no? Let's try this out. Excellent move. Best move was king f2. Alright. So he's going to the left. So for him it's 1, 2, 3, 4 to capture my pawn. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. He takes my pawn, I take his pawn. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. He decided not to go that way. So for him to capture now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves. For me, 1, 2, 3, 4. If his king wasn't there, I would be able to capture the pawn. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I have to be, I think, on this square. Best move was king f5. Okay. Well, I haven't blundered yet, so that's a good thing. We try. King f2 was the right move. The best move was king g. Well, no, it's not. King f2 was not the right move. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's. Well, I can't go around my pawn chain to capture his pawn because it's 7 moves that I have to do. Go this way. The best move was king g5. Okay. Best move was king f5. I guess I just go for it. Now he wins. Alright, let's retry that. So king f2 is not the right move. King e2, blunder. Best move was king g2. King g2. Well, let's try to see why it doesn't work. Maybe that's why. So king f2 and king e2 doesn't work. So the best way, it says, is to go this way. So now he has 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 moves to capture my pawn. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to capture. So when he captures my pawn, I'll be right next to his pawn. And then where's he gonna go? Down. I take his. Yeah, that works. Apparently last move was a blunder. King g4. So I guess you don't want to come to your pawn too soon. Guess you don't want to come too soon. But then this lets his king in. And they end up in the same situation as before. Okay. So king g2, king g3. That's not a good move. King f2 was the best move. Why? Why do I have to go backwards? Why do I have to go backwards? King f4, king g5, what if I do this? Check. It's gonna be a draw. Yeah, it's a draw. So king g2, he comes in. Then I tried to go forward with f3, and that was a blunder. I'm supposed to go to f2. Why? Because he goes here. Let's try it. Best move was king f2, g3, king f3. The best move was kf3. Wow. Why? I don't know. But I'm just kind of going sideways here. It's almost like a waiting move, but I'm not quite sure why it works. Apparently that was a mistake. King e4 was the right move. King e4. King e4. So I guess my point is to get my king as close as I can to my pawns first, and then come around to capture his pawn. I guess that's the plan. Okay, so king g2, king f6, king f2, he goes up, I go up, he goes down, I go up. No, that was a mistake. King f4. So I guess I'm trying to change squares first and then move. Let's try that again. King g2, king f2, king g3, king f4, king g4. So am I trying to stay on white squares while he stays on black squares? Is that the idea? Maybe? The best move was king f5. Let's try that again. He's on black squares, I'm on white squares. I go white square, G2. That's the correct move. Now he's on black square, I go black square. And that's the correct move. He's on black square, I'm on black square. He's on white square. So now I go E4. No, F4. Apparently it's the right move. No, it's not the right move. It's G4. So I guess I'm trying to stay on white squares. Okay, let's try that again. G2, white square, black square, white square. The best move was King F3. Best move was King G4. And now, am I trying to go around my pawns? Is that the idea? No, not quite. Okay, G2. Now I'm in a winning position. F3. No. Best move was King F2. So it still stays the same. Nothing's changing. G2. F8. F2. E7. G3. E4. No, F4. That's incorrect. King G4. So go G4, but then go F5. Okay. G2, F2, G3, F3. F4, G5. King G5 was correct. F5, E5, E4, King D7, King C3, B4, A4. That's a draw. Is it? Check. Whoa! I got something. No, that's not the way to do it. I think I was close. I could have probably got better at it, but G2, F2, G3, F, G4. Is that the right way? Yeah, G4. Is that correct? King F5? That's correct. So now, what? Do I go around? Let's try to go around. E4. King E4. Okay. Well, am I supposed to exchange my pawn to get a winning position? Check. Moves. Moves. Check. Oh, okay. this. It says it's a draw. I'm not sure what this means. G2, F2, G3, G4, F5, E4. So far all the right moves. I still don't understand why it's the right move. Is this a blunder? Best move was King D4. That is the right move. So I guess I'm supposed to exchange. I think I'm supposed to exchange. C5. You didn't like my previous two moves. C5. No, it's saying it's not. It's an inaccuracy. This is an inaccuracy, it says. It's pushing this pawn is an inaccuracy. So what am I supposed to do then? Do this? C5. See, it still doesn't like that. So what does this mean? If I move my king away, he's gonna take that C5 spot. I don't know. Best move was King C3. Okay. King B3. King C2 was the right move. Doesn't like that, eh? Oh, that's a blunder. G2, F2, G3, G4, F5, E4, D4, C3, correct, B4, and now he's letting me in, isn't he? Is this correct? No? Alright. Check. Moves. Stalemate. What the hell? What am I supposed to do here? G2, F2, G3, G4, F5, E4, D4, C3, C2 it says. Now B3. Best move was King B3. A4. Now what? Best move was King B4. I just came from there, so what does this do? Why didn't he go for it? Best move was king a4. a3, maybe? Why? I don't get it. G2, F2, G3, F4, F5. Oh, that was a bad move, right? I'm still in the advantage point. No, that's a blunder too. Best move was king b4. Oh, okay. a3. Best move was king b4. a4 was the best move. a3 was the best move. b4. Bishop b2. I guess to avoid the draw. I don't get it though. b2. What does that do? This is the frustrating part about doing drills, is that they don't really teach you the reasons why you are doing what you're doing. You just sort of play, and then hopefully you kind of get the idea of why everything works. They just kind of like, at the beginning they give you a little bit of a hint, I guess. Can you master this dance of kings and show that you have truly mastered king and pawn endgames? You do need to use the opposition here. So I need to use the kings, the opponent's kings, in the way that it moves, I guess. But be careful about the file on which you seize it. You do need to use the opposition here, but be careful about the file on which you seize it. Having the distant opposition on the E file is of no value. So the king cannot stay on the E file. Is of no value because your king cannot use the E5 square. So the point, I guess, is to get to E5. So having that other king on the E file is no good. So I'm guess E5. I have to get here. I have to get to E5. Be careful about the file on which you seize it. Having the distant opposition on the E file is of no value because your king cannot use the E5 square. Having the distant opposition on the E file is of no value. What does that mean? Having the opposing king being on the E file, like this one here, it's no value to me or to him. Because your king cannot use the E5 square. So, how do I... What does that mean? G2, F2, G3, G4. That's a blunder. King F3. Alright, G2, F2, G3, F3, G4, F5, oh sorry, F4. I don't get the system. I don't get it. So here, 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 here. Is that where I'm supposed to go? Best move was king f4. Alright, king f4, g5. Now what? Am I supposed to go this way, this way, this way, this way, this way? And then what? He goes here, 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 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's try it. I am first to go. Didn't like my move e4. Why? Doesn't like my move e4. f4. Best move was king g6. This one here. So am I supposed to push him out to the left side like this? Is that the idea? Best move was king f5. Okay. Let's go this way. Best move was king f5. Okay. So now what do I do? Best move was king f4. I don't know. Makes no sense to me. So he was just on the e file, this whole thing here. Is this what I'm trying to do, is to get him off this file? And then as soon as he's off this file, I can go around like this? Whatever. See, now it's king f2. g5. g5. f5. e4. One, two, three. King d4. King c3 was correct. b3 was correct. Best move was king b3. Okay. How does this help me? Or is everything lost already? Can I do this? So he's on the E file right now. Am I trying to get him off of that? As soon as he's off, do I just move forward then? King f2. Still brings me back to this square. Why? So frustrating, man. The E file is of no value. Why? Because you cannot use the E5 square, eh? So it's no good for me to use the E file, or like... You do need to use the opposition here, but be careful about with the file on which you seize it. Having the distant opposition on the E file is of no value because your king cannot use the E5 square. So does this mean if I'm on the E file, I cannot do anything to him? Who knows? G2, F2. G3. Can this be any slower? Like, really? G3, G4, right? F3. It was F3. G4, G5, right? No, F4. Let's just follow the instructions that I'm getting here. F4, G5, E4 was the right move. E4, D4, C3, King B4, okay. So far I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is all the moves I've made so far. So now, if he's here and I can take this square, he's gonna move backwards, right? If I take the square now, he goes here. I take this square here, he takes here. Am I trying to push him away as far as I can? Let's try 4. Best move was A5. Okay. So he's guarding these 2 squares and I'm guarding those 2 squares. If I come here, I can guard 3 squares and then he'll be here. So is this what I'm trying to achieve, is to bring him all the way to this A file so that I can start pushing the pawns? He doesn't want to leave his pawn. So now I'm pushing him away. Alright, what just happened? What just happened? I did it. Okay, let's try that again. G2, F2, G3, F3, G5, 4, F4. So, see if I can do this now. I think I already did it. Okay, something happened. I don't get why. Okay, let's try that again. G2, F2, G3, F3, G4, F4, G5, F5. See, that didn't work that time. G2, F2, G5, 3, F3, G4. No, he's not gonna let me in. I don't get it. I'm kind of close to it, but I still don't get the points. When does it work and when does it not work? King F4 was the right move. King F4. G5. Wrong move. E4. So I'm guessing I have to be on the E file and his king has to be on the other file, because then I can win the race to the square before he gets to his. I'm thinking that's the point. So as soon as he leaves this E file, then I take it. Or as soon as he's one file away from the pawns, then I go for it. Let's try it. Let's see if that works. Okay, that works. Let's try this again. As soon as he's off the file. Now I go. It's already looking good for me. I lost the pawn that time, but at least I still get to promote mine. So it's not that bad. Gotta move, man. Let's try this one more time. G2. All I'm doing now is basically looking at this file, and as soon as he's off in this direction, and I can jump on to the next one, that's when I go over to this square right here. Because I guess it gives me more time to remove all these squares from him as he's moving. Okay, so let's try that. Oh, I just screwed up somehow. G2. Now I go. Here I go, here I go. Okay, I think I just lost it. I made a mistake there. Yeah, see? That was my mistake. See, now I go all the way. So now I'm like creating the shield, but I'm removing these squares. He can't do anything about it. I go here, take, move up, create the shield with all these squares that he can't use. Push the pawns, defend the pawn, push the pawn. Okay, I think I got the system down. I think I got it down. He cannot leave this diagonal. Otherwise I'm gonna snap the pawn and then promote mine. If he decides to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He takes, and then his next move maybe to here. I don't know actually. But anyways, the drill actually kind of worked out for me, so this is the way to do it. Is as soon as this king moves away from this diagonal on e file, sorry, not diagonal, file. As soon as he moves from the file, and I have one move less than he does to get back to this area, I will be in a good position. So all I'm doing now is waiting for him to move off the e file first. Yes. And now he's off the e file, and I'm now closer to this. I'm now closer to this area than he is. He has one extra move. So now I'm faster. So all I do is just rush to the square on A5. And now I'm taking over the left quadrant. And now he's pushed out. He cannot stop my king from moving. Okay, that was a little bit of a blunder.